Planet Dolan. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, but sometimes people bring bad things on themselves. Some of these things should never happen. Some of them have to happen. But here are 10 of the reasons we just can't have nice things. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator.
Number 10.
One of the best ways to pass a drug test is to not actually do the drugs you've been tested for. Barring that, there are a few ways people have come up with that they swear will beat a drug test. Drinking bleach is not one of those ways, but a teenage defendant in Baldwin County, Alabama tried it anyway, passed out and was hospitalized, and he failed the drug test anyway. The judge in the case speculated that the defendant might have gotten confused about another supposed trick that involves mixing bleach into the urine sample. That trick also doesn't work. So yeah, don't do drugs and don't drink bleach.
Number 9.
Plastic clamshell packaging is awful. Just about everyone can relate to trying to break into one of these little plastic prisons. You use scissors to cut through them, it leaves sores in your hands. Then you try and pry the rest of the way open with your hands. There's like a 50-50 chance it's going to cut you with a sharp edge. Eventually you hit a point where you're just resorting to blind rage and violence to open the package, which presents its own problems if you're opening, say, a light bulb or a set of knives. Designs like this are supposed to solve problems, and they do. They make it harder for people to steal these things from a store, and they make it easier for stores to display them. They just make life way more miserable for the person who actually buys them.
Number 8.
The primary reason to not take pictures with your tablet in public is that it looks completely ridiculous. Anybody who's actually seen another human holding up an iPad for photo purposes in public can confirm. There are actually far more practical reasons to avoid this photo faux pas. First off, there's a much better chance if you drop in a tablet compared to, say, a smartphone or an actual camera, and more importantly, it's killing your battery. If you're at a concert or somewhere you need to hold the tablet up, you are holding a big giant wall blocking the view of everyone behind you. There's a good chance they're not going to like you for that.
Number 7.
Yes, it's true, cats are adorable and account for like 80% of everything that happens on the internet. Cats can be great. Cats can also be ruthless dictators that will shred all your stuff. They make your whole house smell like cat, they leave hair everywhere, they shred your furniture, they only permit you to touch them when they feel it's appropriate. If you're wondering why you can't have nice things, it might be because your cat has knocked all of them off a shelf. And the worst part of all is that we can't stop it because they're just so damn cute.
Number 6.
Hoverboards are basically for people who saw segways and thought, hey, that's cool, but it seems way too safe. Is there any way we can make it harder to control, easier to break bones with? Turns out, yes, you can. After Christmas of 2015, when brand new hoverboards were being gifted to future victims everywhere, hospitals exploded with hoverboard-related injuries. From 8-year-olds to senior citizens, doctors had a surge of people showing up at the emergency room with sprains, bone fractures, head, neck injuries as the result of falling off one of these death traps.
Number 5.
Hey, remember the cinnamon challenge? Fun times, right? It was a fun challenge where people would swallow a spoonful of cinnamon in under 60 seconds without drinking water. Seems harmless, and in most cases actually it kinda was, but there's also a good chance it was toxic. Several people who took the challenge were hospitalized, one died, several more could see long-term negative effects. Cinnamon's fine to eat in small quantities, but when inhaled, which it almost always was during the challenge, it could get into the lungs. Once in the lungs, it doesn't break down, it just sits there forever as an irritant, potentially causing progressive lung damage with pulmonary fibrosis. Fun challenge, right kids?
Number 4.
Speaking of kids, some people are just not cut out for having children. The good parents makes them happy and the experience makes them better in pretty much every way. But even those people know that having kids and having nice things can clash with each other. Scientifically speaking, we actually know whether having kids makes people happy or not. Most studies confirm that it doesn't. The little bundles of joy are also bundles of stress, sleep deprivation, expenses, and are just little shits. Of course, that doesn't mean you shouldn't have children. The human race does kind of need people to procreate in order to survive, but, you know, only if you really want to. And get ready for the challenge.
Number 3.
Oh hey, speaking of kids, apparently some of them figured out that hand sanitizer has an alcohol concentration of about 45 to 95%. And that means it can get you drunk, or more to the point, give you alcohol poisoning. Very quickly. Doesn't really help that hand sanitizer is often marketed to kids with pleasant scents like grape or strawberry. In 2015, a 6-year-old girl swallowed about 3 squirts of her strawberry hand sanitizer and was hospitalized with a blood alcohol level of 0.179, twice the legal limit for adults. Most hand sanitizer, especially the kinds marketed to kids, have since replaced the alcohol content. Obviously, you still shouldn't drink them.
Number 2.
Your smartphone is likely a pretty nice thing, right? It's expensive, does a lot for you. You're likely watching this video on your smartphone right now. And a few years from now, even if your current smartphone is great and works totally fine, the company that made your phone is going to really want you to buy a new one. Apple recently got into trouble for admitting they were convincing people to buy a new iPhone by deliberately downgrading the performance of older models. It wasn't enough to just make the new ones faster, they had to actually make the old ones slower too. It's not just Apple, everything from phones to game consoles to Windows operating systems put out periodic updates over time, geared at making you upgrade to newer and better even when your current tech seems fine. Number 1, stop eating fucking Tide Pods! Seriously guys, they don't even taste that good. Why are you doing this? You've been in this, aren't you? The earth is not flat, drinking bleach won't help you pass a drug test, and Tide Pods are not food! That's your Planet Dolan PSA for today. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support guys. That is it for this countdown, have a good one!